Hi, this week I have something a little bit different for you. I was recently invited to speak about uses of AI in Agile software delivery at an Agile coaching meetup, hosted by Vadim of SuccessCharge.com. I'll include his information and a link to his meetup in the description below. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you all again for joining. Today I'm going to be talking about artificial intelligence in Agile software development. What you can expect from this class, this is not going to be an all-encompassing everything you could possibly do and how to do it with AI in software development. What I'm hoping this will be is a jumping off point for all of you where you could get an understanding of the things that are possible and work on your own. You could always reach out to me if you have questions and kind of refine your own journey as you go. So this is just meant to be a primer. To introduce myself again, my name is Greg Spector. I've been doing software development for, I've been in software delivery for well over 10 years now. And a bunch of certifications. If you want to connect with me, or if you want a copy of this deck, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just scan the QR code that says LinkedIn. You could also find my YouTube channel, same way. Go to the QR code, and you could find me there as well. I have this on the last page as well, so we can just move on, but it's available to you.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if it's not too much trouble, can you send us links to the chat so everybody can easily access it and we don't need to scan the code?
Guys, Greg available on LinkedIn, 5 minutes delay, even at night.
Okay, I will, after this, I'll send you guys all a link to my LinkedIn account and to the YouTube channel. If you're interested, be happy if you subscribed and joined. Okay, so I'd like to start with the first part, which is the ethics in AI in the workplace. There are two things you have to think about. First of all, you have to, if you're using this at work or for work purposes, make sure that you've spoken to your leadership and your legal department and anybody else you need to talk to, because anything you put into one of these engines becomes part of its training data. So if you put something very specific and somebody asks it a question, your information could come up. So no proprietary information. Try to anonymize or obfuscate it. You could ask a similar question and turn that into whatever it is that you need it for. So, but just be aware of that, because I have not encountered this, but I have heard of instances where proprietary information or personal information has popped up when somebody else is searching for stuff. So just be aware of that. So what is artificial intelligence? I don't know how many of us, maybe we could do like a quick show of hands. How many of us have played around with it? Okay, so some of us. For those who have not really played with it, what it is it's a tool, and well, it's actually a term that encompasses a number of tools and technologies that are designed to simulate the human intelligence. This is not an intelligence. It's a large language model. So if you get curious and you want to mess around with it, there's a bunch of things that you can ask it that are very obvious. It will never know the answer. It just cannot, because it is not capable of independent thought. What it is it's trained on all of the data that it's been given. And for ChatGPT, Bard, it's the internet. And it takes that data and refers to it when you ask it a question. So theoretically, it is possible to formulate a completely unique question that is not anywhere on the internet. Not easy, but it is possible. And you could ask that question and it will not know the answer. And that's when it kind of hallucinates. And it'll hallucinate even with normal questions. So and we'll talk about that in a second, but expect that to happen on occasion. So never just take something. Somebody I know who's a lawyer had it write a brief, and then she was about to submit it to a judge. One of her partners was like, have you looked up the cases that it mentions? I know that somebody got caught with this. And she said, why? What for? And it turned out that her cases were completely made up. Yep, that's true. And they call that hallucinations. When you get like a really weird response that has nothing to do with either the source data or your question, it's a hallucination. That's what we call it. So it is not an independently intelligent being or technology. It references information and spits it out, but in an incredibly powerful way, as you will soon see. So there's a number of different types of AI, and this is just good background. It's not super relevant, so don't hold yourself to memorizing each one. So there's narrow or weak AI. This is meant to perform a very specific and narrow task. Internet searches, facial recognition, those are narrow AIs. It is not conscious, it's not self-aware, it's got limited predefined range and a set of constraints. So that's one type of AI. General or strong AI. This is a theoretical AI. I know that there have been recently rumors that Sam Altman is hiding a general AI in ChatGPT and in OpenAI. I don't have any reason to think that that's true, but this is a general AI that you could ask it to do anything pretty much. And then there's the artificial superintelligence, which is also a very advanced form of AI. We are not there anywhere close to there yet. It would surpass the human AI. This is the AI that's supposed to destroy the world and enslave us. This is theoretical. We're not even close to it. We could argue after this presentation whether it's even possible, but it is not something that exists, although it is theoretically possible. Then there's reactive AI. Reactive AI is a very basic type of AI system. It does not have a memory-based functionality, so it doesn't remember from one instance to the other. It's kind of like the chess program Deep Blue, or that program that plays Go and has gotten so good that it beats humans, champions. So it's really powerful. I don't want to minimize it, but it doesn't do absolutely everything. It's very limited in what it does and doesn't do. Limited memory AI. It is capable of memorizing past experiences to inform future decisions. Most of our systems right now that we use are this form of AI. Then there's theory of mind, also a completely theoretical AI. We have not gotten there yet. It would be capable of understanding and remembering emotions, beliefs, so you could interact with it like a real person. And lastly, self-aware AI. This is an AI that's basically like us. It would be an artificial human intelligence where it would be able to understand everything, be conscious, be self-aware, evoke emotions, and basically like most humans we meet. So AI prompts and prompt engineering. This is an art or a science, or maybe both, of interacting with the AI. We use natural language when we interact with it, which is what natural language is, what we do, what we speak, and how we speak to each other. It's not, as opposed to software code, or something if you put into like MATLAB or something like that. It's not code, it's speaking. But the science of or art of prompt engineering allows us to optimize how we interact with it to get the best results possible. And the first thing that is kind of like a practical part of this presentation is what we call a super prompt. When you're interacting with an AI, if you've never done this with a ChatGPT, you open up a window, ChatGPT, and you start talking to it. Now, you could set up a scenario, like if you've ever been to a minimalist theater, where you come in and there's a narrator who says, the stage is empty, maybe there's one chair or two chairs on it, and a black backdrop and dim lights. So there's not going to be any set. And the narrator says, it's a rainy street in Chicago in the fall, late at night. And so that you're setting, with a super prompt, you're setting kind of the background. You're setting a foundation. This is where we are. And based on this foundation or this super prompt, everything else that you're going to talk to the AI about is based on this super prompt. You're kind of setting up the situation. And here's an example of a super prompt. You don't have, I'm not going to go through it, but you could see it's got multiple sections. How you lay it out is up to you, but it understands us just the same way we understand each other, and it appreciates having more clarity like this. So you give it this super prompt, and then all the other subsequent questions and interactions can be based on this. Here's another example of a super prompt. You can see it's very involved. Now, if you're wondering, but what good is any of this? So this super prompt example was generated by ChatGPT. I couldn't think of a good example, so I asked it to give me one. And after a little bit of refinement, this is what it came up with. So again, you're setting this up, you're creating parameters, you're giving it an understanding of what this interaction is going to be good for. When do you use this? You use this when you're planning to have a long interaction. If and you'll see, like, let's say you're creating a project and you want to set up the project. This is where you would start. If you're just asking it a simple question, like come up with 3 ideas for an article on Agile, you're not going to need necessarily a super prompt. And you could set it up in a different format. You could set it up where it's all one question. Another format is called the star prompting format. STAR stands for situation, task, appearance, and refinement. So situation, that's again like a super prompt. It sets the stage for your interaction. It could be a persona. So for example, so this is an example that I use. I record YouTube videos on Agile and software development, or software delivery, I should say. And at the end of the video, I take the transcript and I put it into ChatGPT for it to write me a really catchy synopsis. So I'll tell it, you're a copywriter for a YouTube content, Agile project management content creator. And I go on to the task. I need you to write me a synopsis, a teaser synopsis of the video that I will give you the transcript for below. Now we're moving on to appearance. I need it to be in a friendly format. I'm sorry, in a friendly tone, and no more than 2 paragraphs. So now I gave it the appearance. I submit, and then it'll spit something out, and I may refine it. That's what the R stands for. I go back and I say, could you make it longer? Could you make it shorter? Or could you focus more on the first half of the transcript? And it'll do that. You can keep going back and forth as many times as you need. And it will keep adjusting and refining the result. Yes, we do.
Yeah, a little question. This kind of star prompting, is it available in ChatGPT and Gemini.google, let's say Gemini.google, or it's only for specific set of artificial intelligence platforms?
No, all the stuff we're doing here today, it could be done in any of the other tools. I've specifically used ChatGPT, but you can use them with any other tool. You're going to get different results. And this is something you should be aware of. You will have different results from moment to moment. If you do something in the morning, so when I'm looking for a job, I created a GPT that writes cover letters. Since recruiters don't read the cover letters, I think it's only fair that I don't write them. So since it's AI that's going to be reading it in their applicant tracking system, I might as well write it using AI. So sometimes I've noticed that in the mornings, I will get a lot less hallucination than I will in the afternoons and evenings. It's a weird thing. Sometimes when you give it your resume and then give it the job description, you'll get a certain kind of result, and you could have a lot of fun experimenting. Sometimes if I give it first the job description, then I give it my resume, I get a different result. And these letters are vastly different. They still cover the same material, but they're very different, and they focus on different aspects of their job description and different aspects of my resume. So
And sometimes it will write information that's completely irrelevant to both to either resume or to job description.
yeah. So it's fun to experiment. Yeah, I guess it's the coffee. I wish I knew what it was, but I don't think even and I don't think anyone, even Sam Altman, knows. So let's talk about applying. Wait, did I skip a slide? Sorry. I did skip a slide. I knew there was one slide missing. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be focusing on ChatGPT, but these are all of the other options. So Copilot is from Microsoft. You probably get pop-ups on your iPhone. Claude, you have to kind of submit a request. I don't know if that's still the case, but you might have to submit a request. It's kind of a weird thing. Jasper, it's one of the recent ones. Gemini, which Vadim, you mentioned earlier, used to be known as Bard. They've been in the news a lot. And the last one, if you've never encountered this is an interface. I've only recently became aware of it and installed it. I haven't signed up for it yet, but from what I understand, you can sign up for the Poe interface and then use all the other AI systems through their APIs. So Poe sets up an API to say ChatGPT, and you only have to pay for Poe. You don't have to pay for ChatGPT 4. So like I said, I haven't played with it, but check these out, see what kind of results you get, see what works best for whatever application you're using. But so far, ChatGPT has been my go-to.
Are there any other free ones except for ChatGPT?
Well, ChatGPT 4 is not free,
Yes.
but 3.5 is.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 is free.
Anything else is free? Well, maybe some context generator, images generators.
Google is free, and
Gemini free, the Copilot is free. But again,
Chrome has a free version also.
you
Yeah.
got what you pay for.
Yes.
Well,
3.5
the thing is not about saving. The thing is, well, if I'm gonna use it every day, I don't mind paying for it. But if I use it once every 3 months, I don't see a reason to
I
pay for it.
agree with you. Now I'm just curious, what do you do when you use it once or 3 months?
You're
This
probably going to
case,
find yourself using it every
I'm,
day.
I'm using that 30 times a day.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm using ChatGPT 10 times a day. But like if
There
I
you
look
go.
to generate images,
Yes.
Yeah. The images are, although, let me go back. My cover image, ChatGPT.
Yes. It is.
ChatGPT.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, well, is that 4.0? Does it have images? Oh,
It's 4.0.
okay.
And you could refine it back and forth. I asked it a few times, different ways, and I got different results. This is the one that I liked. So this is the one I went with.
Yep.
If you're talking about
used
cost,
this Microsoft one a few times, but it's complete garbage. Even if you ask him to generate greeting cards that say this and that, it will misspell it. And it's like, okay, you didn't spell it correctly. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try it again. And it will misspell it in a different way. Like, okay,
But
never
it's
mind.
A learning. It's a good thing you're catching. It's a learning.
yeah,
Good
for
thing
sure.
about Microsoft, they're starting from scratch.
Well,
Yeah, I understand, but when you're asking specific, can you say this on this greeting card? And it's completely mashed it up.
There's no excuse for misspelling there. Claude has a different costing model, or pricing model. So they use tokens, and the tokens are ridiculously cheap, right? You get thousands of tokens for like 20 cents, and each search will cost you 1,000 tokens, let's say. So that's like 2 cents.
Which engine are you talking about?
Claude.
Claude.
Yeah,
Claude?
that was on one of the
Okay.
that was on the list that Greg had. Claude has
Yeah,
serious,
I'm looking at it. Thank
frameworks
you.
out there now.
For anybody who joined late, if you connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm going to have a QR code so you can find me easily, I'll send you a PDF of this presentation. So It'll have all of this information that you're seeing. So no need to like feel stressed. So this is where it gets interesting. Here are some things, if you missed the previous slide. Here, now we're going to apply AI to development in Agile. And we're going to be able to see how this works. So one of the things that we can do is brainstorming. Oops. So I'm going to, oh, I can't. Okay.
It'd be wonderful if ChatGPT can find me a job, not just write the cover letter.
So
Go find a good job.
So I'm taking this, I'm copying. You could still see my screen, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm copying this prompt and I'm opening the chat. And I'm pasting it in. And I'm submitting. Now it's going to take a minute. Oh.
This is the only problem I have with ChatGPT. Very often.
Yeah.
What problem, Alexander?
That it fails.
It fails. It's asking you to regenerate. And it's actually coming because it's also applying as a token base.
Yeah. But keep in mind that we are in very early stages of all of this technology. While it's loading, I just want to add, if you think back to when computers were just like desktop computers were just becoming a thing, the thing that they absolutely everywhere said that they're going to be able to be good for is to look up phone numbers and to look up recipes. Yeah, I'm going to boot from a floppy disk, from a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk for 20 minutes so that I could look up a phone number. It's absurd. But everybody used to say that because we lack the imagination of realizing that this is where it's going to take us. Like we're here all over the country right now. Nobody even imagined that this was possible. So let's be understanding. It's going to fail. It's going to give us weird results. So let's take a look. I asked it.
No, it's great. I use it multiple times every day, and I love it. Like you apply for a job application, and a lot of them want you to write essay. I can spend 2 hours writing this essay, where I can just enter keywords, play with it, and generate it in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Right. But Slavik, you're gonna lack your ability to write good essays without machine.
Yeah, we're going to become all a little bit lazier and a little bit dumber. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've got ChatGPT for us.
Just like we don't remember anybody's phone numbers anymore because they are all in our phones. Yeah, that's expected.
Exactly. So, so I asked it to suggest. This is the brainstorming request. I suggest an Agile project for a development team. Include disruptions from internal stakeholders. Keep the project as close to reality as possible. Now, you could write a much longer prompt, and you see, this gave me a pretty robust answer. Length of sprints, all of that good stuff. Now, moving on to the next one, I'm just going to use this format to share. So the next thing, let's say I want a work breakdown structure. So here's my prompt. Please create a work breakdown structure. And I'm dumping it in here and asking it to do that. So let's take a look.
I would laugh if it said, sorry, Greg, there is no work breakdown structure in Agile.
There isn't. That's true. I'm not an Agile purist.
I disagree, guys, but separate discussion. We're
Okay.
saying that it's adaptive. It's not a static, but it is. It's like
So it's giving me this result, which I'd say is a pretty good result. Now, if I go back to this again, share this, what else can I do? What's next? Come on, scroll.
Yeah, every time I hear work breakdown structure, I'm getting acid reflex.
You know,
not. You should
I've
not
had a lot of
else and enjoy it.
I've had a lot of issues where in an agile environment you're asked to do non-agile things, and the way I've kind of come to terms with it is no environment is perfect, and sometimes you have to produce results even if your setup is not ideal. You can't say, oh no, my desk is a little too low, forget it guys, we're not working today. I like that, Emma. Yeah, so that's how I approach it. We still have to work with other people, and we still have to output product. Otherwise, we're not going to be doing that for a very long time. So now I'm putting in a prompt that says, wait, that's didn't copy. Sorry. So now I'm asking, please create a product backlog for the project that includes epics, features, and stories. Start with the first 25 items. And you see, I made a typo, and it'll still be fine. That need to be completed. Please align the backlog so that the epics are broken down into features and broken down further into stories, and suggest which sprint each story should be in. Let's see.
It's going to nail this one, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
While it's generating the response, and it's going to be long. Don't get upset about that. Okay,
Yes.
it's coming from the space, after all, right? I start canceling all of my classes of user story writing. The only my responses use ChatGPT.
Yep.
Well,
actually
they use
notice it.
Miro. Actually, Miro, especially if it's integrated with Jira or Azure DevOps, whatever you use, you can do story mapping in Jira and I'm sorry, in Miro, and right there generate user stories. Miro AI generate user stories, acceptance criteria, and it will
I
be.
agree. Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, I would say 50% organization in the United States now allowed to use Miro.
Oh, seriously?
It's because of the regulation and compliances.
Huh? Interesting. Because
Miro,
everybody I know uses Miro.
Miro located in Europe, and most of the banks, most of the secure organization, whoever it's cybersecurity, they prefer that the hosting for all of the collaboration and communication is stay in the States. Even the Zoom has this separate government structure.
Well,
Only
yeah,
in the
because
United States.
I remember it was a problem during pandemic because Zoom is
Right.
hosting this. Their
This is not. I mean, I just move away. Focus on Greg. Sorry.
No
I'm just
worries.
saying,
No worries. It's good to
hey,
feel
guys,
welcome.
and
I
Greg,
stop
look,
all of my
looks like-
classes writing the user story. It doesn't make sense.
No, you could, and that's
Every time use ChatGPT.
yep, that's coming up in a second.
By
But
the way,
let's take a look at this.
Greg, what I'm noticing here, it's still writing those user stories in work breakdowns structure kind of
Exactly.
thing because it has 1.111.
also,
So it's like it's derived from
Slava,
work
yes,
breakdown
you're correct.
structure.
So
I
this,
saw some of the developing team who is actually working. They actually they typing. I mean, they actually pasting that user story, right? And it's asking to write a code, and it's also gonna read the code for you, and it's gonna compile the code, and it's gonna validate it. Welcome
run
to the new reality.
collect your salary and spend your salary.
Don't
And then
collect.
you just go and die. And that's
And next of it, guys, please wait till the end, and you can ask Greg for his link for his edition of ChatGPT.
So yes, you can make your own GPTs, and you see it on my. This is Adventures in Cover Letter Writing. That's a GPT that I created for my for the job searches. So
Wait, you created your own chat box for.
yes.
Okay. All right.
So coming back to this, I'll show you if you're interested. I'll be happy to show you.
Oh, definitely. Thank you.
So here it is. It broke it up into sprints. And like you said, I think Iman said that it was mirroring the previous work breakdown structure. Now, what's the next thing we can do? Let's move on to the next page. We can create a visual roadmap. I think this one is going to be quite interesting if it works. No.
You can ask about the Gantt chart.
You can, if we're gonna keep going with the non-traditional.
Who said that it's not?
Alexander, you keep giving me acid reflux.
No, take a pill. It's good. Trust me, it's good.
It's cleansing.
Yes, yes, exactly. And again, don't get disappointed that someone used a different wording.
Oh, I know.
I know. I'm the same way.
And frankly, when my job creeps into a project management, and if I cannot get away from it, I'm just leaving company.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's a free country.
We all run into this.
Yeah, I usually say it's against my region, and I'm not gonna do that.
Wow, what is this?
So this is a visual roadmap for the previously created project.
How do you like that now, guys? Do you mind saying work breakdown system? If the answer to all of your questions, and basically look at that, and what Greg is trying to say, you remember that. What is agility is all about? Deliver value fast.
Right. Well, this is the roadmap. This is not work breakdown structure.
Right.
And
Hold on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Name it whatever you want it. Yes, name it. But think about it that value, that's something that's you never know. But fast. This is a beautiful example. How can you create fast? In the old world, how long does it take? And again, you don't argue with the boss, right?
Yeah, me too.
Good. That's good. Again, I was more fired than hired. The last, okay, but still, arguing is great. Different opinion, it's awesome. But keyword here, what Greg is trying to say, fast.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fast.
but you have to look at
Yeah.
quality too,
Fast.
Alexander.
No,
right?
no. You don't know about the quality until you deliver. But think about it that it's giving you great feedback loop what fast is.
Yeah, no doubt.
fast.
But this
That's all.
roadmap has no inclination of any dependencies, any risks. It's simply
but
just a
it's simple.
linear extrapolation. That's all it is.
You're absolutely
That's
right.
what we gave
But
him.
that's the first step. He didn't ask for the dependency.
Yeah.
He did not do that. That's again, iterative and incremental. He does iteration and he delivered the increment.
well, iterative and incremental, those are two different things that often being
Yes.
confused, but those are different things.
Oh, I know. It got to be together.
Usually it's either or.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Look,
it is.
let's not deep dive there, right? I know what you're saying, though, Alexander.
Alexander,
Speed is
connect with me on
critical here.
LinkedIn. We
You're
can
getting
have a
somewhere
conversation.
fast, right? But where are you going? That's the question.
So when preparing today's presentation, I ran through all of my prompts, and the flow that we just went through, I did that earlier. And again, asked it to suggest a project. It suggested a CRM project this time, and it gave me everything. It went through everything, all of the breakdown structure, the sprints, and you see how different it is. Even though the prompts are pretty much the same, it gave me a different looking visual roadmap. So, like I said, Every time you're going to get a different result. So just be prepared for that.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go back to sharing this.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So what are some of the other things that it can do? Well, user story and acceptance criteria writing. You could have it generate you a user story. You give it so this is the prompt: generate a user story or acceptance criteria, whichever one you choose to do, for a feature where, and now you describe the feature. So let's say product gives the team a set of written functionality for each feature. And sometimes product owners are not great at writing user stories. This is a tool that a product owner can use to write user stories. And you can go back and forth. And there are GPTs that will do this for you. But really, this is more than enough. What else? Working agreement samples. I'm a big believer that when you come in, the team writes its own working agreement. But who here hasn't been in a room where you walk in, you set up the working agreement session, and it's silence?
Mhm.
Dead people talk more.
Mhm.
And nothing is working. So what do? And I'm sure all of you who have been in this situation try to do this. You start priming the pump, is what I call it. You start feeding them. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? You start getting them thinking, getting them talking. And this could be a great way. What you have to do is give it as much information as you have. So you start with that, and it will ask you questions. So I wasn't planning to do this. Oops. Actually, I could just show you. I think I might have. No, not this one. Wait, where's the working agreement? Here we go. So let's start a new GPT. Okay. See, I even have a typo. Or no, there's no comma there. That's what's going on. So here it is. See, it's asking me questions.
Mhm.
And you could tell it. You could tell it to prompt you when it understands the task or when it's ready to receive additional information. You could tell it, and this is a very good thing to include, if you need any more information, or if you want to give me please make sure every result you give me is 95% or more accurate. And if you need any more information to be 95% or more accurate, please ask me. So it will ask you all the things that it needs if it needs something. Interacting with an AI is very similar. It's not exact, but it's very similar to interacting with a person. So here it is. It gave us a very robust example. Enough to get started. Now, again, these things hallucinate. I strongly urge you to always read through before you do anything with it. Always, always, always. Because it's hard to fix it later. Okay. How about another? So user stories, which we touched on. You give it an explanation of what you're trying to do, and it will write a user story. Testing. You could give it a snippet of code. Again, remember, do not put anything proprietary in, but you could give it a snippet of code and ask it to find any potential errors in the code. You can ask it to write test cases. This is great when the team is shorthanded and engineers have to write test cases for something that you need a QE for. And that's the end of the presentation. I do want to say something else. AI is not going to destroy the world, and AI is not going to take our jobs. The world will be destroyed by humans way before the AI gets to it, but they will be using AI to do it. And your job is not going to be taken by AI. It's going to be taken by somebody who uses AI to make themselves that much more efficient and that much better at what they do and that much more impressive. So however you choose to learn it, I really, really encourage you to learn it, because this is a tool that can make you simply better at who you are and what you do. Again, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, that's my LinkedIn connection code. If you want to find my YouTube channel and watch my YouTube videos, please feel free to do both. I would be very happy to have you.